Howdy folks, welcome back to another Bad 66 Chevelle video here. It's been a little while since I had a chance to make another video here, and this is part 2 of installing an electric choke on my motor in my C10 here. And I've been running it like this for a long time. I had manual on it and I pulled it off, and I want to put electric on it, make it a whole lot better. And I went ahead and just a little update, ordered quite a few things for this thing. A while back I made a video where I had swapped it out to a long water pump there, and I had switched that out because we're going to put power steering on it. And I got this style long water pump. Some of them you got to watch out, they don't have this bolt hole at the bottom of the pump here cast into it, so you want to make sure that when you buy the new pump it's got this bolt hole cast into it. It's got to have that boss in it right there, really important. And I went ahead and ordered my power steering brackets for it. They were about 60 bucks because I wanted a little different style so that it doesn't use the accessory holes. But I wanted a little different style that doesn't use these 3 accessory holes, because you got 3 of them. You got one right here, one over here at the top in the corner, and then you got one down here. So I ordered one that doesn't use any of those. It just uses this one down here, this water pump, and it uses these 2 down here on the lower part of the block. Now I'm going to clean all this up and degrease this motor. This motor is not going to be in here too much longer anyway, because this truck's going to get a big block here soon. But I'm going to go ahead and set it up so that's got the power steering on it, and that'll just make it a whole lot better to drive, and make it a whole lot more enjoyable. It's got power brakes, as you can see, so we're going to put the power steering back on it. This truck originally had power steering on it, but at the time the power steering box that was on it, the seal where the pitman arm is at the bottom, it leaked real bad, and the lines leaked, and this one needs a grease seal. The grease is starting to come out. But anyway, I got a new pitman arm. We're going to convert it back to power steering, and went ahead and got the rag joint for it in order to take this truck and change it back to power steering, which this truck had it originally anyway. But if you got a truck like this and if you want to change it back to power steering, it's not that hard to do. It's just the downfall of it, it's just so expensive to do it, and that's why I've been putting this off for so long. I've had this truck for almost, it's hard to believe, but about 2.5 years, and a buddy of mine had actually loaned the money to me to buy it, and then I ended up I had to pay him a little bit of money every month, and sadly he passed away. But anyway, he had loaned the money for it, and I ended up paying it back because I had the blue truck, and that truck had got wrecked, and then I bought this one to replace it. And then at the time I was trying to get this truck to where it would pass inspection, because in Virginia you got to have that old state inspection sticker. So anyway, that's one of the things I had to do, is I put an old regular manual box on it. You can go back and look in the videos there. But I had to put a regular, just a regular old Saginaw box on it, and that way to get it by. But it's not hard to convert it back. You just got to have a few things, because the big thing you got to do is this rag joint up here. I had to buy this new because the rag joints between the power steering and the manual boxes are different, so I had to order that. And then I had to order the pitman arm. The way the angle is on the pitman arm is a little bit different, and everything else is the same though. But you got to change the rag joint and change that pitman arm, and of course get your power steering box. But it's really not that hard to do. It's not too bad. Let me show you all a quick difference between them 2 rag joints. Alright, so I got the new rag joint here. I got it off eBay. It really wasn't too awful expensive. It was about 40 bucks for this rag joint. This is the power steering version, and you got to change these out because these don't interchange for this style truck. But as you can see, it's brand new. The old one I had, the rubber on it was just completely gone, and it was missing a couple bolts on it, so I ended up just ordering a new one. It's about 40 bucks, so I ordered that last week and got that finally. And the difference is quite noticeable. You can definitely tell the difference between them. But this everything else is the same. It's just the rag joint. The spline up in this rag joint is different on the power steering box. And this shaft, the distance from the actual box from here to the rag joint on the manual is different, and on the power steering it's much shorter. But you gotta get your rag joint, because you can see, you know, they're completely different. So get your rag joint. This one was 40 bucks on eBay, and they won't interchange anyway, because the way this is designed, it only fits one way, because the way it's got this where it's machined in there, it's a flat spot in here that it lines it up more or less. There you go, now y'all can see it. But that's a little alignment thing, so that this only installs one way when you install it on the power steering box. But get that, that's 40 bucks, and then change your pitman arm out down there. I ordered the new pitman arm as well. I'll probably get that in the mail here in a couple days. But that was about $33. That wasn't too bad. And of course, it's the greasable one. That one's, believe it or not, is a new one too. But you know, they won't interchange either. So you got to get your rag joint up there, and then get your pitman arm. And then I went ahead and got my power steering brackets. Got them ordered. They were 60 bucks because I wanted the different version that doesn't use any of these accessory holes down here in the head. So that way it don't use any of these 3 accessory holes. It makes it easier. And I'm going to clean this motor up and degrease it and all that. But I still got to get the power steering pump, and of course the power steering lines, and the actual steering box. But the steering box is what's going to eat me up so much, because the steering box for these trucks they're a little expensive. The last one I looked up was about like 260 bucks about. But they're a little expensive, but I want to get a new one to put on there. That way it's nice and tight. This one's just got so much play in it. That's another reason why I want to put the power steering on it, is it's just got way too much play in it. I mean, you can turn the steering wheel just like that, and the wheels are just sitting there doing nothing. But that's why we're going to put a nice new box on it. That way it'll be nice and tight. And once I get that done, I'm going to take the tires and replace these tires on it and put a nice set on it. I think I'm going to get the same size. Well, they'll be the same size, but I'm going to get the same brand of these tires, because these tires got a whole lot better meat on them. I've never heard of them, but I've put them on this old white truck here, this old white Ford I got. And they actually grip pretty good. But these old Goodyear Wranglers, I'll never buy them again. Them things are junk. But I actually just got a set of wheels for this truck. I've been looking all over the place, but I'm not going to keep these wheels on it. And I got a nice set of truck rally wheels for it. They're 15 by 8s. There's one of them right there. Of course, we're not going to run that size tire on it. But I might just throw it on there for fun. But I got just bought 4 of the truck rally wheels for this, from a C10. And of course they got the beauty rings, and then I got the centers that'll go in. I'll have to order the rings and the centers yet, but once we get all that ordered, that'll be good. So that's another project too, is we're going to change these wheels and tires out and put the nice ones on it. And I'm going to get the centers that had the 4 Drive logo written on it, and I'll have to order 2 sets to make 4 of them, of course, though, because 2 of them are open for the front for the hubs. But I want to put these wheels on it, then put the 4 Drive centers on it, and of course the beauty rings that go around. And because my plan eventually down the road is, once I get my big block in it and get the power steering all restored back on it, I want to take this truck and I might look around and see if I can find a 4-wheel drive frame, because I'd love to make this truck a 4-wheel drive. I know it'd be a little bit of work, but this truck would be nice. I'd love to make it 4-wheel drive, especially with that big block. But anyway, the reason I was making this video is I wanted to get back to this choke here and put this old electric choke on here and make it a whole lot easier to start. And then got to keep messing with it, because every time I start it when it's real cold outside, I really don't drive it that much anymore. But I have to come out here and of course close the choke. I had a cable on it, but I took it off, but I had to keep closing it like that. And I just we're gonna fix it right here. And another thing on the list too, for sure, is I've got to order a wire harness for this truck, because this wire harness on this thing is just a disaster. And I'm going to definitely go through that here soon. So all this wire and all that, trust me, don't worry, y'all. All that's going to get replaced. I'm going to order a whole new wire harness for it. It's just, money's a little tight right now. I mean, I got money, but, I just got to be careful with it and make sure and take care of a few bills first. But I want to get this thing straightened out, and that's another reason why I really ain't been driving it that much. Is part of it because it's wintertime. We got a little bit of snow, but I want to try to keep it off the road because of salt. But I ain't been driving too much anymore because it's got so much slop in the steering and that old box down there, and the alignment's just off so horrible right now. And to me, it's not worth lining up until I get the power steering put back on it and I'll get my wheels and tires done. Then I'll take it up and get the alignment done. But I'm gonna go ahead and and I'm gonna try and order a new set of coil springs for the back for this thing. That way it'll sit right, because I know this truck is always set real low in the back. Of course, it's kind of on a hill a little bit, but definitely gonna get that fixed, because it shouldn't sit that low. But one step at a time here. I'm just trying to improve some stuff on this thing and make it a whole lot nicer to drive. And I'm not sure if y'all seen my seat or not, but I replaced the seat about a year ago. It's not perfect, but it's a whole lot better than what the other one was, because the other one, it was just so messed up, and somebody had welded on it and hacked on it. It wouldn't even move forward and back. And I found this seat in a junkyard and bought this one and put in it and gave $100 for it, and that was a heck of a deal. I've had it probably about a year, and I'll tell you what, that seat's just about perfect. I wish it was a different color. It's got a little tear in it, but compared to what I had before, I mean, this is just way, way better. But still looking for a door for the passenger side. That door on that side is pretty much no good. But like I said, one step at a time, and I'm just trying to get this thing straightened out and make it a whole lot nicer to drive. That way I can hop in it and don't have to sit there and worry. But let me get back to this choke here. That's the whole reason why I'm making this video. But just trying to make a little updates too as well. But I'll update y'all more when I get the power steering straight. But hopefully I get all the rest of my parts in the mail. But anyway, it's really easy to switch this out to electric choke. I've already removed my manual choke stuff, so that's already been done. It ain't no big deal. But this is off. This is electric choke off another Edelbrock, and it's just got two little screws in it. You got a hole right here, got a hole right there, and then you got another one right in there. You just line this up on the side of this carburetor here. This little linkage here goes on this side of the carburetor here. You just want to line that up. There's really nothing to it. Let me get this lined up for y'all. Kind of hard to do with one hand here. Let's see. Well, basically, there we go. Goes. There we go. That's how it goes. You just gotta line them two holes up. And of course, it's got some marks on top too. That's another way you can tell. You got these marks to adjust the choke here, but you just want to line those up. And they're two T25 screws here, which I got right here. These are T25s. But you just line that up, put them two screws in there, and we'll hook our linkage up, and then I'll show you all the next step here. Alright, I just realized something here. In order to put this electric choke on here, there's a little plug down here, and you're going to have to take this plug out for the choke to fit. So you have to remove that plug down here because it won't line up right if you don't. And you got to take that out anyway, because it's this little hole down here lines up, and that's like a heat hole more or less, so that once the motor warms up, it basically kicks the choke off. But you got to get that little plug out of there, and in order to get your choke installed. And another thing I noticed is the linkage. This is a little newer Edelbrock, but this would be easy to fix. But the hole in this linkage for this choke up here. I may have to take and pull this little bracket off and drill that out a little bit bigger, but it's quite a bit smaller than what this linkage is right here. So we'll have to take and may have to pull that off and drill that a little bit bigger, but gotta get them two things done. And I've never really had electric choke before, but I'll have to take and make that hole a little bit bigger and get that plug out of there. So we'll actually make a third part to this, so stay tuned for the third part. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.